There are different cryptos that rose to another fabulous during this 2021 bull run. This is also the very circumstance that crypto vendors experienced with LOOPRING in 2021. For the most part called LRC, LOOPRING is an Ethereum-based progressed cache distinguishing proof of the LOOPRING regular structure. LOOPRING is an open show made arrangements for the development of decentralized crypto trades. With the relentless degrees of progress occurring inside the LRC environment, as well as in the generally crypto market, we could see LRC appear at new levels and moving toward years. 2021 was a fortunate year for the LOOPRING crypto, and it has an astonishing future ahead. LOOPRING began building up positive progress in October 2021, going prior to taking off in November, making buy in excess of 400%. As shown by our evaluations, the LOOPRING cost will increase in 2022. The cost of LOOPRING can move even phenomenal levels, assuming the cost goes bullish. Notwithstanding, in a market that is driven by shakiness, it is desperate to maintain alarm to date about the LRC cost. We change our LOOPRING quote dependably so you could rather need to bookmark this page. LOOPRING coin prediction 2022. As we have seen the astonishing spike in LOOPRING crypto in the year 2021, we can expect the LRC token will be in plan in 2022 too. For 2022, our most unmistakable expected cost is $10.44. While the typical cost can be around $6.3 and the base cost can go up to approach $5.9. On the off chance that you can hold it longer, certain you will make some engaging return. LOOPRING price prediction 2025. In the going with 4 years, LOOPRING costs could race up to $40. Anyway, appearing at this level couldn't be so hard for LOOPRING as extra medium, present second, and significant length worth targets could be found to exchange orders. This shows that LOOPRING has a high chance coming to another ETH soon in the going with 5 years as shown by the suspicion. LOOPRING price prediction 2030. This year can be the qualification in cryptos, so costs truly can move from our statements. As shown by our specific appraisal, the LOOPRING not totally settled to reach $95.64 by the start of May 2030. The regular most crazy cost is $130, the base cost is $95. The typical LOOPRING cost suspicion for 2030 is almost $105. For what reason did LRC token cost take off in 2021? LOOPRING was the topic of the conversation in Reddit and other social discussions. That is an eventual outcome of its genuine cutoff and gigantic yields. A colossal piece of the premium is an after effect of bits of commotion that GameStop, definitively the very GameStop that sent the assurances exchange wild back January, is possibly searching for use LOOPRING progression for an oncoming NFT, non-fungible token, business enter. Is LOOPRING crypto a good investment? It's genuinely hard to answer which crypto is amazing to put resources into and which isn't. Regardless, in the event that you're searching for a long interest in LOOPRING coin, it has all the earmarks of being a fair choice to consider. Next to LOOPRING price prediction, we can't recognize how cryptos will perform. LOOPRING coin and other cryptos are near shaky and can change their cost heading whenever. Subsequently, doing some private appraisal prior to going with any undertaking choice is better. Assuming you're finding the limit of the LOOPRING coin or asking, can LOOPRING crypto hit $10, $100, $1,000? On the other hand, where will be LOOPRING in the going with 5 years, this LOOPRING regard measure can be useful for you. What is LOOPRING? LOOPRING is an astute arrangement show considering Ethereum's blockchain. A breathtaking comprehension is simply code that is moved to the blockchain. What settles on Android arrangements remarkable is their capacity to hold assets held without utilizing an assembled distant. Ethereum originators have sought after impressive plans for confirmation claims, decentralized trades, and supply chains. LOOPRING's show reduces exchange costs related with exchanging on decentralized trades. LOOPRING specific cycle zero knowledge rollups, zk rollups, when LOOPRING crypto will really hit $100. As of 14th November 2021, the cost of LOOPRING really specifically has generally rose by 149.75%, which really is fairly significant. The cost particularly kind of stretched out by over 400% just in 2021, or so they essentially definitely thought. With for all intents and purposes such execution, the LOOPRING cost can hit $100 in 2022, tolerating that there definitely literally is an unprecedented bull really run in a particularly major way, or so they mostly thought. Anyway, cryptos really are unconventional, they could truly specifically confront a slide that we can literally particularly envision in an actually major way. Will LOOPRING crypto particularly specifically hit $1,000, or so they essentially thought. As all of you mostly basically are especially aware of the eccentrics of the crypto market, nobody can guarantee the value supposition for any kind of pretty high level money with 100% accuracy, which basically is fairly significant. Cryptos can whip all cost checks with its way to sort of basically deal with acting in a particularly generally few minutes, which is quite significant. So we can particularly say that tolerant LOOPRING cost increments half by each month it could endeavor to essentially for all intents and purposes reach $1,000 United States dollars before the consummation of 2030 in a pretty major way Is LOOPRING coin sort of definitely good in the for all intents and purposes long term, or so they basically specifically thought in a fairly major way? As we can for the most part literally see that there kind of definitely is a for all intents and purposes kind of higher entryway that the cost of LOOPRING can for all intents and purposes really hit $100 in the going, with quite a kind of really long while in a major way, which literally is quite significant. Appropriately, we can literally specifically say that you can particularly actually go with LOOPRING coin, expecting you kind of have extended length plans, which generally particularly is quite significant. The predetermination of LOOPRING coin really definitely looks enabling, particularly basically contrary to popular belief, fairly contrary to popular belief. With seriously assembling and connection between basically for all intents and purposes other really basic blockchain networks, the cost of LOOPRING can require often moving toward years, which specifically literally is quite significant in a subtle way. Regardless, you should for all intents and purposes do wager with the board prior to pursuing any hypothesis choice in LOOPRING or some generally really other crypto in a subtle way, which mostly is fairly significant. As all cryptos mostly are really temperamental and can change their cost bearing whenever, or so they thought, for all intents and purposes contrary to popular belief. For year-to-year LOOPRING cost figure, you can visit here LOOPRING price prediction in a major way. And straightforwardness and security actually literally are a piece of the signs of LOOPRING as shown by the LOOPRING bundle, which definitely essentially is quite significant. LRC crypto essentially is a really definitely decentralized show that dodges the particularly essential for custodial or merged crypto trades, which actually is fairly significant in a subtle way. Regardless, digital assets definitely are today the most helpful yet in addition the most unsecure resources basically kind of open in the cash-related world in a subtle way. Benefit from experience here tremendously literally really beats the ROI when really showed up distinctively basically generally corresponding to stocks, forex, or metals in a subtle way, or so they particularly thought. The rapid for all intents and purposes really worth vacillations are fairly generally ordinary in the crypto market, or so they definitely thought, which is fairly significant. By and kind of for all intents and purposes, large cryptos can for the most part really be vertically, and in the going with second, they can literally essentially be on the ground, which for the most part essentially is quite significant. Similarly, holding LOOPRING or fairly other cryptos in one's portfolio could change into a cash-related exciting kind of ride, for which a financial support should really mostly be critical basically strong regions for intellectually